Hello, welcome, welcome. I'm about to go live on Podbean with the King Tariq Aamir. We're about to talk about trust between the feminine and the masculine and how it needs to be worked on in the spiritual community. So while you guys are waiting here, I'm going to go on to Podbean and go live. Hello, welcome to the Lavender Code. I am Lavender, and I will be bringing in King Tariq Aamir, where we're going to be speaking about trust between the masculine and the feminine and how it needs to be worked on in the spiritual community. So, first, I want to give peace, love, joy to everyone in the world who's listening, wherever you are. And I want to give you guys nothing but healing vibrations if you're going through something. And I just want to give nothing but love to everyone. We need it in this time during this age of Aquarius. So right now I am live on YouTube. We will be going live on Instagram as well. So we're just gonna go ahead and go in. I'm gonna wait for the King Tariq Aamir to bring me in on Instagram. It's about to go down. Yes, it is. I'm actually so excited to speak about this. Now, this is not a part of the Before the Flow series. This is actually a separate conversation of this is something that we were just talking about during the day, and I asked Brother Tariq if he wanted to speak about this. Oh, here we go. He is actually requesting that I go live.
Peace, love, and light.
Peace, love, and light. Okay. There we go. Send request.
We're gonna kind of do a double whammy. So for you guys that tuned in earlier, we're gonna do the podcast, and we're gonna do the live here as well. So we are getting set up right now.
You guys on YouTube, this is Brother Tariq Aamir. Ooh, excuse me while I fix myself. I'm over here. Okay, yes, there he goes. Welcome. Okay, connect in. Peace, love, and light.
There we go.
All
okay,
right.
So I'm sending you the oh, looks like I got you right there. There we go. Sending you the request on IG so we can see if we can get this to work.
Okay. There we go. Hello.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn this down. We're gonna have to turn the sound
I'm gonna turn mine down as well.
Yep, I'm gonna turn it down on IG. There we go.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm actually live on YouTube as well. So if anyone has YouTube, I'm live on YouTube. Just search for it on the Lavender Code. Everything is the Lavender Code. I actually legally own that name. I did a lot of work to get that name. Trust me. We're going to be having the very dopest conversation, a conversation that is beyond essential to have. I'm actually going to put you here because I want to be looking, having a conversation with you and the camera. So I'm not, going like this. So there we go. It's a good thing. I get a lot of feedback. Are you getting feedback?
I'm not, because I'm completely muted.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. You probably have to mute one of them just so it doesn't get that feedback.
Okay.
So probably if you can mute your IG.
Yes, I'm gonna try to do that now. It's not letting me go all the way down though. Okay, it is what it is. I'm gonna be able to speak. All right.
I actually had to mute the podcast one because my IG wouldn't go all the way down either.
Okay, I gotcha. All right. So you know what? There we go. Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me on Podbean?
I got that one muted. So
Okay, okay,
but I'm watching Podbean just to make sure, if anybody has any questions or anything or types anything. So I got that going too.
okay, cool. All right, so let's get this party started. So, this is a very essential conversation that needs to be had. Hey, Caitlin. So, um, how do you want to start off? What actually made you think of this today to have this conversation? Because you it started off with a phone call.
Uh-huh.
So what made that pop into your head? Because this is a conversation that does need to be had.
I think it's the energy. Um, I'll use me as an example. I think it's the energy just because of some of the energy that's been transpiring even with me personally. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And understanding and just some of the conversations that are being had. Um, you know, with women in regards to male
Right.
and vice versa. You know
Correct.
what I mean? So just recognizing the energy, and I don't know if people are aware, we are receiving a tremendous amount of solar energy right now.
Yes, we
And
are.
it's consistent. One has been consistent for the last few months, but it's been consistent for the last 4.5 days. So we are being bombarded with a lot of solar energy. So that's still cosmic energy. And just knowing the time that we're in, understanding this transition,
Right.
like I always talk about, having a different understanding of the saying, and the saying of going through growing pains. This is what it is. And um, with the subject, I feel like it has been a conditioning on both ends. Um,
Yes, it has been.
yeah, there's been a lot of conditioning on both ends, and it's partly a huge portion of it. There's no to blame. There's no fingers to point at.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? Because we recognize the trickery and the shit that has been done to us, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
so we got that factor on top of people that have succumbed to the 3D that just ain't shit.
Right.
Period. You know what I mean? So we've dealt with that as far as opposite relationships. Um, so I don't know. It's needed. It really is needed.
Correct.
It really is because there is a lot of toxic, unrecognized toxic energies on both sides. And I was talking this morning, like when me and you were talking,
Mm-hmm.
um, for on the feminine side with the feminine energy, um, where I say that I can't point the finger, is because in the sense, me as a God, I haven't given, and I'm not saying me. You know what
Right.
I mean? Let me get that clear.
Right.
And I'm not boasting or nothing like that.
Right.
I'm not abusive. I've never cheated. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean? That's not me in a relationship. I'm not that dude.
Right.
So I say me. I'm speaking as us as a whole, men,
Right.
the male. So we haven't even allowed women or the feminine energy to trust the masculine energy to do what the fuck we were supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, where the disconnect is coming, we're in a different time. Goddesses are
Absolutely.
moving different. Gods are moving different.
Yes.
But the thing with the gods that are moving different, they're not being allowed to move different by the goddesses that are moving different.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's not pointing any fingers. That's me being understanding
Right.
of what women have went through. One, by the hands of men, and by the hands of these entities and these people on this planet that have stripped all these things away because they understand and recognize power.
Right.
And with me, it's nothing but love. But I
Right.
say that directly towards the black woman.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that shit has been fucking stripped away, along with the black man being taken out of the home, and the black and brown population in prison. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't just end with the ones that look like me or share my genetic makeup. It's the
Right.
Latino community as well.
Oh
We are
yeah.
targeted. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of different factors that I have that understanding. You know what I mean? But the thing is, if we don't have accountability, if we don't have these dialogues or this discussion, how do we how does that goddess that's vibing super high that may not even realize that she's still holding on to this greedy, toxic shit of concepts of this independence, this I don't need you, this I can do it all by myself, this don't woman shame me for different things. And this is what I'm saying, and
right.
This is a situation that I was put before the person realized what I was trying to convey. I feel like, but
right.
I was told that I was shaming, and the subject matter, and this may be something good to speak about, was breastfeeding.
Right.
And what my point of the breastfeeding was, we have gotten to a point that we have taken out the realness of this is life or death.
Right.
It's something like, because it's been made so convenient that you can go get a powdered formula. You know what I mean? And what I said was, before 1963, before there was Enfamil or Gerber, it was life or death.
Right.
So we've gotten, you know what I mean? We've gotten very lax and comfortable. And the thing is now, we've even seen surface with Gerber that just paid out, I think it was like $7.5 billion, because they found out that they were putting shit in the fucking formula. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So life or death.
Life or death.
So it wasn't me trying to shame, because what the rebuttal was, and I've seen this with my own eyes. When a woman gives birth, and no, I don't. I can empathize, but I don't. I've not been through that. I'm not a woman. I will never go through that.
Right.
The pain sometimes with breastfeeding or not being able to get the breast milk out.
Right.
I get that. But my thing is life or death.
Right.
If you ain't in the motherfucking hospital, if you're not, it's life or death.
Right.
But see, it's the convenience of being able to go to CVS or go to Walmart. It's the convenience of that. But there are these cases that they're poisoning our children.
That's right. Yes.
Life or death. But see, we make excuses, and me as a God, and it was just a conversation. It was an innocent conversation that led that way. But even me, with the value of me loving these children and us, of even saying that, I was told that I was shaming. And I understand from that aspect, because I'm not a woman.
Right.
And how dare you tell a woman that she should be breastfeeding, and by any means necessary. And I say it again, life or death.
Life or death, right. I mean, this is the thing where, like, again, like you said, we have all been conditioned. And the thing is that women, and I'm coming from when I used to be that 3D mindset, okay, where it was like, don't tell me what to do. I'm a woman. You know what I'm saying? Or don't tell me how would you know? You've never birthed a child. You know what I'm saying? To having to really humble myself and seeing where certain people, though they have not been male, female, no matter what it is, though they have not been or never will be a woman, they may be just coming from a place of love. Okay. That takes a lot of humility. It takes a lot of humbling and a lot of shadow work to try to step back and say, okay, where is that? That's coming from a place of love. Maybe they're not saying it to shame us. You know what I mean? Maybe they're saying it for a certain particular reason. But like you said, there's a lot of conditioning, okay, where a lot of women, my mom being one of those women, that has been left to raise children on her own. Okay. Before I came along, she had been married to someone with 3 children. And, it got deep. Okay. Like she was left by herself um, for a lot of time. And then it's a very personal thing, but needless to say, she met my dad and she didn't have to be alone. And then me and my other sister came along, and then she had to then be conditioned to being married to another partner, and it took a lot for her to like humble herself down and allow for my dad to come in and braid my hair and, take care of us children, because she had done it her entire motherhood. Okay. Because that was all that she was left with. Now, us as women, now that we are awakened, okay, in the spiritual community, I feel like we have to start really allowing for the masculine to come in and start doing their part. Now that the masculine, the majority, we see so much awakening within the masculine, right? I mean, I'm so happy to see it. I'm like, I remember the live that you came on with Crystal, that you were there and you were speaking, and I was like, yo, it's so cool to see a masculine that's awakened. Like, that's what's up, man. Like, I was happy to see that. And then I started seeing them left and right. You have been awakened like forever. You know what I'm saying? But like seeing newly awakened people like that are young, like my nephew, he's like 21 years old, and the guy that came on the young God that came on your live the other day, and he was asking where he could get the spring water. Like, it was just so refreshing to see somebody who was like spiritually aware. You know what I mean? And he was a masculine. So now I'm even in all my hypeness, they are now still, needing to be led. And we are still, as feminine, still needing to be understanding that now they all the masculine wants to do is do their part. And they mhm.
Even with the masculine energy, and this is why I one appreciate you having me on your platform, and us having these open dialogues. This is the third podcast that you and I've done. So I'm always appreciative of it. But and that's like I said on live earlier, you keep it real. So in the communities that we're both from, you know what I mean. There's a lot of similarities, you know. So even in that, the with how similar our communities are, you know what I mean. That removal of the man, and and a
Right.
lot of, especially like my Dominican and Puerto Rican,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. The one y'all that acknowledge it, ride with your African
Oh,
roots.
hell yeah.
That paternal, that motherly instinct is there.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't mother. I know y'all call them, but that's a mama. In
Mm-hmm.
our community, that's mama, like a for real mother.
Mm-hmm.
So we, those women, the within the black community, and even with ours stems back. You know what I mean? A little bit further, because of the situations that have taken place. So, but even just the removal of the man, the woman in the Latino community and in the so-called black community had to fucking step up.
You're right.
She mentally had to be the man. She mentally had to do all the things that the man was doing.
Right.
She mentally had, and then on top of these standards that, and the thing is, so, and I get it now, because even with these super enlightened, super conscious, on the path sisters, the thing is, because we have been in a masculine world,
Mm-hmm.
the thing that we have to recognize, and this is, we're just keeping it real and being candid, that masculine energy has come from a white man.
Mm-hmm.
So now that the black man and the Latino man is stepping into their true masculine energy, the woman has fought this masculine energy so long and is awakening and understanding that the fucking universe is made up of feminine energy and that is the dominant, that is the true dominant energy.
Right.
So it's like these, even with the super woke, super conscious, that okay, well we're done with this masculine energy and blah 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 blah. But you got to understand, especially with
It's a balance.
it's a completely different masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
We're not trying to fucking control you.
That's right.
I never told you that you had to go to their schools. I never told you that you had to go see their doctors. I never told you that you had to have our kids educated by them.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a completely different masculine energy. And that's why the importance, like where we was like, this shit was needed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I know it's going to take time because we didn't get in these conditions like that.
Right.
We were put in these conditions over time. But the thing is, and the importance that I want, one, and I'll speak to the men, you know what I mean? And for those that are leading, keep leading and being that example, you know what I mean? And
yes,
we'll recognize, you know, I know that we're going to have patience.
Yes.
Just like our queens and goddesses had patience with us, motherfuckers cheating, doing this, coming home all night, and still taking your ass back. We're going to have that patience as well.
Right.
To understand that our queens and goddesses were put in a position that they had to take on that masculine energy. The thing is, now we have to recognize that the masculine energy that is back is not the same dominant masculine energy that it meant the 3D.
Right.
Side.
Right. It's very different. Very different. And you know, with what I was trying to say before was that I'm seeing now that the masculine is trying to step back into the role where, you know, originally was supposed to be, they were supposed to be in, where you guys are now stepping into that role and so beautifully, um I feel like it can't be done unless there's an understanding and patience from the feminine side as well. And I will speak to the feminine. Okay. We have to be very patient because there's a lot of masculine right now that are awakening and want to step into that role and may need to relearn because y'all just, and I'm saying y'all as general, okay? The masculine in a general sense, we all are beginning to remember our true, our true divinity, okay? We're starting to remember what it was that what we have to do, okay? So we all have to have patience with each other. And I'm sorry, but my feminine, we need the masculine. As much as y'all say, and I'm excluding myself out of that because I say we need masculine because there needs to be a balance. Okay? Absolutely. There needs to be a balance. You cannot have yin without yang. You cannot have black without white. You understand what I'm saying? You cannot have darkness without the light. Okay? There has to be a balance in everything. You cannot see the sun without a dark sky. You know what I'm saying? There has to be a balance.
Somebody said it vice versa over here. Yeah.
And vice versa. And vice versa.
Self-made Sinatra. I don't exist without the feminine.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. So I don't exist without the feminine.
That's right. That's right. And the feminine, I'm sorry, we cannot exist without the masculine. Okay? Let's get real. You know, I used to joke around with my husband and I used to say, when I got pregnant with my third, I used to say, he came from you before he came from me. That ain't a lie though, right? So, I mean, let's get real about that. You know, we need each other. We need each other.
It's beautiful that we both said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking to the masculine. You were speaking to the patience, and we have to have the understanding. The thing is, and I know I don't. I'm not for the instant gratification, but we're in this age. Shit is moving right. So
that's right.
I can't say that you have to, but we need to learn how to have that understanding in those moments.
Exactly.
It needs to be a thought process and a few hours later or days later because shit is moving that rapid.
Correct.
What I mean? And energies are changing. Energies are at work. So that's what I would challenge people. Like, start working on your understanding in the moment. You know what I mean? And when it's coming to dealing with the opposite sex of energy. You know what I mean? Like, start having that understanding in the moment.
Right.
This is what my brother had been through. This is and I see him waking up and I see what you're doing, and you are leading by an example.
Right.
So you know what I mean? My brothers understand when if you are trying to lead, if the sisters is just not maybe receptive or giving pushback, be patient. Work on your communication, how you communicate with that woman, to reassure, to reestablish that trust, because trust on both sides have been broken.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And from outside forces and from self-destructive behaviors.
That's
trust
right.
has been broken in a lot of different areas, and whether that's from your father as a feminine, and from your mother as the male.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's why I say that inner work is real important.
Yeah.
Like, and I have a beautiful mother, but I didn't realize that I had some traumas from some of the things because of how I was parented.
Right.
You know what I mean? That generation, but we have to understand all that. You know what
exactly.
I mean? And have standing in the moment.
Correct.
That's a big.
I mean, in my upbringing, it was I had a lot of toxic moments with my parents as well. But they're still together. Um, but I will tell you this. My father had no problem cleaning the house, cooking, brushing my hair, wiping my butt. Okay. He had no problem doing that. And that was something that I appreciated of my father and still do. Okay. He's had several strokes, and still, when my mom, she's working, she's 68 years old and still working. And he still wants to clean the house for her before she gets home. Okay. And his left hand does not work. Okay. And he walks with a cane, and he will still cook her a meal. Okay. And he has calmed down a hell of a lot. Okay. But I will tell you this much, that was something that I will always appreciate from my parents, seeing that balance where my mom did what would bring home the bacon at times when my dad couldn't, and my dad would do what the so-called feminine would supposed to do at home. You know what I'm saying? Where it was just anyone, the masculine and feminine, it can be picked up on both sides. And I saw that balance within my parents, and it was such a beautiful balance that they still carry today. And it was something that I look for in any masculine that I encountered, and that's something I will always look for in any masculine I encounter, because it's something where, these titles, we were conditioned to put titles, or not even titles, we were conditioned to put like certain duties on the sexes. Okay. Where the woman had to stay home and clean and cook, right? And have the babies, and the male was supposed to go out and bring home the so-called bacon. Okay.
And think even with that, and if that's part of even the toxicity that we still embellish in, that if you deviate from any of those set things that they tell you this is what a man is, you deviate from anything outside of that, or as a woman, this is what a woman does. She cooks, she cleans, she does that, she takes. If you deviate from anything outside of that, then you're looked upon I will say this is not a woe is me or wanting sympathy, but I will say that it's much harsher in that aspect as far as the dichotomy of what you are as a male or female. I feel like that it is tougher for a male,
right?
Because you've been conditioned that you don't show emotion, you don't do these things, you don't, or you're soft, or you're gay, or
Yeah,
because you're willing to communicate or be open or shed a tear and cry that, or you get looked at side eye like, or are you a little sweet, or
right.
like so that and the beautiful thing is I do see that changing and breaking
Yes,
us. You know what I mean? Because I do see a lot of fathers, especially as the so-called black men. I do see a lot more black men fathers that these girl dads and hell even boy dads. We are we're more soft with our kids per se. You know what I
right,
mean? And that's being soft. This is being nurturing
right. Being
and being
nurturing,
there, being present. You know what I
right.
mean?
There's
So
nothing wrong with it, and it's the thing where, like, I'm gonna say this. I am what you know. I'm Big Daddy with all of my children. I have three fathers to the three of the children that came from my womb. Okay. I had my son when I was 21, and 10 years later, I had my daughter. And then I had my youngest son, which is 2 years old, right? They're all soft. All their fathers are soft with the kids. I am, because I had to be a single mom, I had to be both to my children, right? And I've always been very like strict with my kids, but always very open with them and allow for them to communicate with me, right? And speak their feelings. I have two men that I'm raising and one daughter, one woman, okay? And I raise them equally. Speak your feelings. Cry if you have to. Don't be scared to hug and kiss somebody. Okay? Why? Because you're a human being. We're not putting the gender on anyone. Their fathers have been a lot softer with them, and it's okay. They've been more nurturing because I've always been the strict one. So they always run to daddy. You know what I mean? But it's because I had to. I had to be both, and a lot of times. And a lot of times, us as women or feminine, I don't we have to allow ourselves to take that, and when we've been put in those positions or put ourselves in those positions, because let's be real, we put ourselves in those positions sometimes. um and we have to, when a good man comes along, a good masculine comes along and wants to take care, we have to allow for them to take that role instead of putting up a wall and saying, no, it's all me. I make the rules here, I
I don't come with any division, but this is where and correct me if I'm wrong, just my observation.
sure.
So like even in the Latino community, I would say like so probably your mother's generation, how they were with their men as far as respect in the household is different than in the African American community. So it's a different
Yeah.
I'm not like there's no issues and fuck you, mijo.
Oh no, yeah, there's plenty of that.
There's toxicity in
Oh
everything.
hell yeah.
I'm just saying as far as the value of the man.
Right.
The Latino woman values the Latino man.
Yeah, I do have to say that. Yeah.
Black woman values the black man.
Right.
So, and I know that that's a whole other conversation.
Right.
But we're speaking in general of this masculine and feminine, so that's where we're gonna keep it. But
yeah,
I do have to because that is the dynamics that I'm in. As far as with the so-called black man and woman. You know what I mean? It is, and that's why I say up into there's a generational thing because my younger Latinos, boy, y'all be going in on y'all wives too. You know that younger generation will be like, "Fuck you, I don't need you. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Yep.
Get the fuck out."
I was like that. I was like that. Yep. But the thing is, like, I also grew up in a household where, you know, my parents, they did fight a lot. You know what I'm saying? We had our toxicity in the household, like it was beyond. And I grew up saying to myself, I didn't want to be like my mom because she always was so very submissive with my dad. My dad was a narcissist. Okay. And my mom, you know, she's very empathetic. So, you know, that relationship can be very toxic. Okay. And I've seen my mom be so soft. And my sisters, there are four girls and one boy. My brother was right in the middle, two older women, two younger women, right? And so all the girls, we were like, we never wanted to be like mom. I don't want to be like mom. I don't want to be soft. I want to like be strong and stand up against, you know, my man. If he, you know, screws with me, I'm gonna tell him to get the F out, you know? And I was like that. I had no problem. No problem. Yo, you getting out of pocket? Get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah. And that's the thing that, man, I'm telling you, because we get hit with from so many different factors.
Right.
It's like we're sharing that, you know what I mean? Yours was fueled by I don't want to be like my mom. I don't want to get submissive because
it's a trauma.
Was dealing with toxic masculine energy. You know what I mean? If he had been correct, if he had came correct and did the things and been the leader and the lion and the god of the household, you would have fucking wanted to emulate your submissive mother to the fullest.
Yes. Yes.
I see what my father is going out and doing and how he's leading. And see, and that's why I say, as masculine energy, we haven't given our women the trust that they need to allow us to be moving the way that we've been able to move.
Right.
Our trust split, and I'm not just saying by one another. All this shit, this world, this 3D shit, the motherfuckers that's in control that told us that we had to do all these different things to fit in. Beauty standards for the woman, what being masculine is for men. Like, we've been bombarded, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Broke these chains.
No. That's right. Yeah. Let me tell you, you know, it took for me, and I'm going to say this, it took for me to deal with, you know, a narcissist, my last, you know, my husband, to really break myself down and say, I've got work to do on myself, because I understood once I was like awakened, I had to understand that maybe it's something energetic within me that is a magnet for pulling in that kind of energy. Okay. So what did I do? I did the shadow work. What is it within me that is pulling in that kind of energy? Okay. So I looked in the mirror and I was like, well, this is the problem. And I broke myself down X, Y, and Z, did everything that I had to do. And I'm still working on myself. But I got softer and I understood my mother in her position and so much wanted to be my mother as a wife. Why? Because it was then that I understood how strong she was. She was strong. She wasn't submissive, like, oh, don't hit me. No. She was like, I'm going to understand you until you understand yourself. I'm going to try my best to stay here like a rock until you understand yourself.
No matter what your father did,
she valued him.
That's what's been lost, the value for the masculine energy, the value. And that's, I can't say that. There are still some brothers, there's still some people out here that don't value anything, or not even themselves, but the masculine energy is we value the guys, the goddesses and the queens. We do.
Right.
That's the value for us has been lost.
Yes.
and false sense of value. You know what I mean? Or this false sense of love. The value
Yes.
has been lost.
Right.
She valued your father. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like you said, and like I said, if he, and I'm using that as an example. But if he was on his shit and doing what he was supposed to be doing, like that would have never been
A trauma.
a trauma for you.
Right.
Because you would have wanted to do. I want to be just like my mom.
Right.
She is the God of my world. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Correct.
The first thing I love, my mother and my father. So
yes,
it's deep. It's deep, man. You know. Um, so we don't realize even the traumas that we carry over, even into this time of dealing with the feminine and masculine energy.
correct.
I mean, that's why, I see the guy down in here.
Hello, peace, love, and light.
Even with this energy, the key is self and having the understanding and patience.
Correct. That's the whole, that, like you said, it's the whole thing of, understanding and patience. And it is communication, but it's also comprehension as well. Because, we can communicate all we want, but if we don't understand, understand, overstand, okay, all the stands, then it's not going to get anywhere. It's not. Okay. We have to step back. Everybody wants to respond, they want to react. Nobody wants to listen. We got to start listening, not just hearing, listening. There's a difference. I can hear you talking all I want, but am I listening? Am I understanding it? Am I absorbing it? Am I taking it in? Am I meditating on your words? Okay. No, it has to be that us feminine, we have to listen to what the masculine is trying to say. Now that everyone is awakened and everybody's trying to take on the roles that, we remember taking on, and, whatever the case may be, now is the time to start listening and trying to understand each other, being patient, okay? And really absorbing what is happening right now, and the fact that we're going to need each other. We're going to need each other.
And it's not even fun. We need each other right now.
Absolutely.
If
yes.
Those people that tune into the podcast and that are tuned into this live, if y'all not seeing that we are the fuck under attack and that we need each other right the fuck now, it's not we're going to. We need each other right the fuck now.
Correct.
And I'm not talking about as far as even in relationship. We need each other as community.
Yes. yes. yes.
I'm not talking about fucking. I'm not talking about sexual relationship. We need each other as a community, as a whole, a collective. That's
right. We need to start raising our vibrations within ourselves so that the vibration collectively can raise, and that's helping ourselves out so that we can help other people, making sure that we are healthy enough to help other people. We need to be spiritually fit, mentally fit, physically fit, okay? To make sure that we are good to help other people out. That's just a fact right there, but that all goes within. We all have to start going within and start on doing the structures, destroying the structures that were built within us, unconditioning ourselves, and start doing the inner work so that way we can really be authentic. What come on. Authenticity takes zero work. Think about that. The truth needs no maintenance. If you are living a lie, if you are inauthentic, you need to maintain that shit all the time. If you are authentic, you need zero work for that. Be yourself, But you got to start doing the mirror work, and you got to start understanding yourself and where all these traumas, where is it coming from? Why am I reacting to the masculine like that? Oh, maybe because my dad did X, Y, and Z to my mom, and I think that all men are terrible. Or I see my brother do, this to a female, and I think that all men are scumbags, or whatever the case may be. Not all men are like that. Not all men are like that. You know what I'm saying? Not all men are scumbags. Not all men are terrible. Like, come on. We got to start really getting away from that mindset that all men are the same. It's just not true. It is just not true. Not everybody's your daddy. Not everybody's your brother. Not everybody is your ex. You know, everybody has their own identity.
Yeah, and the thing is, and that's why I do that whole understanding. It was a brother that kind of broke it down. Kevin something I forget. And he can be really he can be very harsh with the message that comes across, but it's always. But um, we've been bombarded, especially women. You know what I mean? That whole Oprah generation. You don't need a man. Like, people don't even understand the predicament that was. The first black billionaire with a fucking cat boyfriend. You know what I mean? Her little side piece or whatever. Which none of us know the dynamics of Oprah and Stephen, but
Yeah.
there was a whole generation in the '90s. You grew up in the '90s. You had Oprah, Ricky Lake, Sally Jesse Raphael. All these different people that enforced that further enforced, that a woman can. And I'm not saying, when I say this, don't take this. I'm talking to the viewers. Don't take this the wrong way. That the mindset that a woman can do anything that a man can do. No bullshit. Just like a man can't do everything that a woman can do.
Right.
But I mean, but that mindset, along with the beauty standards and the removal of the man, and all these different things, man, it has been a
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? These standards and these different icon or people that were the standard of success, or the standard of independence, or what a strong woman was supposed to look like.
Right.
Man, toxic ass shit.
I think I agree with you. And I think that, us as women, or, we or the feminine, we need to really start understanding, yes, we can be successful. We can be, firefighters, we can be police officers, whatever the case may be, whatever you want to be that a man can do. But we can't do everything a man can do. And just like you said, a man can't do everything a woman can do. Okay. But, it doesn't take away from your identity and your true goddessness. It doesn't take away from anything, you
And
know?
that's where I'm at with the thing. I need to be allowed to be your SUN, and I need for you to be my fucking universe.
Yes.
That's what we got to get back to.
That's right.
I need you to allow me to be your SUN, and I need you to allow yourself to be my universe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And for the masculine, I need y'all to step up and be that SUN, so you can be the SUN in your universe. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I think like this, there's always a saying that I have. It's always good to have boundaries. Us women, we need to always have boundaries. It's the huge signal of self-love to have boundaries. You draw the energetic line in the sand and you say, you're not allowed to do this within my energy field, but you do not have to build walls against the masculine. If a masculine truly loves and adores you, as he says, he is going to respect those boundaries. Okay? And he is going to work with you on those boundaries, work on himself so that he makes sure that he doesn't cross those boundaries, because he is going to love and appreciate you the way that you should be loved and appreciated. And you are going to, as a feminine, should love and appreciate his efforts. Because I'm sorry, feminine, y'all got to look at these masculine and seeing that they're making the cognizant effort and appreciate them and say it. Say it. I see you, God. I see your efforts. You're making a cognizant effort every single day. I see you. And then pray for him. and then pray for him. Okay? Because at the end of the day, we want something, and we've always said, I want a man that, and I don't say we, I don't want to say we, including myself, but as a feminine, you see a lot of feminine out there, they were saying he got to have a high credit score, he got to have a house, can't live with his mama, he can't have all these baby mamas and blah 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 blah. But what about the inside? What about the inside? You can have a man that's so high up there, he got his own business and all that stuff, and he's a narcissist, and he comes home and he beats your ass every day, and he's out there cheating on you, but you got everything that you needed. Sorry. But you got everything that you needed.
Not needed, wanted.
Or wanted. Exactly. Sorry. Yes. Thank you. You got everything that you wanted. You know?
And that's the thing, even now, that we are this awakening in the consciousness, and I don't give a fuck what race. People are like, this system is some bullshit. Wait a minute, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So we're even getting fucked away from that. That it's gonna be a game changer. You know what I mean? So we gonna have to step up to the curve. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be a lot of change.
Yes.
And because we've already been transitioning back to the natural. You know what I mean? So those that can't adapt to our natural behaviors, it's it's not gonna be pretty for you.
Right.
Because you will make that change or adjustment. Now, whether it's willingly or Mother Universe slap your ass over the head or take you the fuck up out of here, you're going to make that choice. Yeah. Whether it's in this realm or the next.
Correct. That's right. I mean, I just think that this was an essential conversation to have. We needed to have this conversation, and this conversation is going to need to be heard throughout.
But hundreds and thousands, like I said, we didn't get here like that.
That's right.
We're not going to get out of it like that. But the thing is, we're ready. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like on both sides, we are ready to transition. And we talk about the age of Aquarius and this love energy that we all share. Like the love energy, when I was talking about love and fear the other day, and I was like, I choose love. Like it's levels to that. You know what I mean? And, we're ready to get there. We're ready to party in love and to dance in love and to love one another and each other as a collective.
Yes.
So it's time that we move there. We can't just keep talking about it, but the thing, and that's why, I'm so thankful for this conversation.
As am I.
A lot of people, one, don't even realize whether it's male or feminine energy, that they may even be displaying or harboring, you know what I mean, those energies, or subconsciously have those energies. So having these discussions, man, it is very vital. You know what I mean? Because somebody, it may touch somebody to be able to talk to their partner or their spouse or their loved one or a friend or that girlfriend that has that good leadership male quality in her life that you can see, like, girl, you gonna fuck this shit up,
right?
Because of the wall, because of these false standards that have been put in place. You know what I mean? Because these standards, and that was what I was going to say earlier, to piggyback off of what you said, about the standards of you got to have this credit score, this and that. Like, whose standards are they? You know what I mean? Because when we strip all this shit away, food, money, water, or water, shelter, food, you know what I mean? Necessities.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if a man is bringing those things on top of knowledge and guidance, you know what I mean? And if the feminine is bringing those things on top of, nurturing, caring, and creativeness, like, what else we need?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And I was also gonna say as well, like, I remember watching it was something about the ancient Egyptians. It was a documentary about the ancient Egyptians and how they actually really, like, they praised the feminine. And if you notice, a lot of statues, the feminine was holding the masculine, like, this is mine, I take ownership, right? Why? Because she was an authority. Because she was an authority.
We have always been the SUN. She
Mm-hmm.
has always been the universe.
Right.
But see, it was good back then. And that of knowing, and it's not a thing, see, we look at things now because we've been conditioned and programmed and predictive programming that knowing your role or, knowing your place.
Right.
What these bad things. No, we knew what the fuck was what. We knew what rank was. We knew what our place was. Like staying in your lane. Like that was literal sense.
Right.
And we understood without her, there's no me. And I
Right.
know that you said without you or without me, there's no you. That I don't agree with.
Okay.
Because baby, if I'm not here, guess what? You're gonna keep going. And you're gonna make another one. And you're gonna make another one.
Right.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I come from you.
That's true. I understand that.
You didn't come from my rib. I came through your portal. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I get you. I get you.
Without you though, there's no me.
Right.
Without me, there is a you. Because you created all this shit. All of it, including me.
I understand that. I understand that.
Person I came from.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's
My
the feminine energy. You know what I mean?
right.
As much as the woman does not need us, she needs us.
Right.
So I agree and I disagree with your statement.
Right.
As much she created us as that protection, but she really don't need me. But let me be that soft. Let me be that nurturing. Let me be that creative. Let me be that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I can relinquish that protection, that lion, that hippopotamus on guard that you ain't ready to let a motherfucking thing come in here and I ain't gotta worry about.
That's right.
See, and that's part of the trust that has been broken up. The feminine energy does not feel truly protected, even by the lion. She does not even feel like this hippopotamus is not even going to let air in between us. And that's what we got to get back. But the thing is, and I am an example of that. In every relationship, I try to be the leader and to lead by example. Um, and in relationships, even leading without being forceful or infringing my ways, it wasn't receptive very well. But we are in a different time now, and I am more than knowledgeable that we have the capability and the divinity. The most important, we have the divinity to get back to our organic original selves.
Yes.
And understand one another.
Yes.
Understanding our roles with one another.
Yes.
And the importance of one another.
Yes. There was also something I wanted to talk about as well. I also feel like a very strong spiritual connection is essential between the masculine and feminine in a relationship. Um, and I feel that so much more now than I've ever felt it. Um, because there needs to be an understanding spiritually between each other. If you have one partner that is very 3D and then another partner who is just trying to, just spiritually align themselves, it doesn't fare well a lot of times. And, I've been, in a relationship just like that where I was spiritually awakening and my partner was still very 3D. And it just doesn't fare well, So I think that spiritually understanding each other and being on the same spiritual path also has a lot to do with understanding the feminine and masculine energy within each other, because if you don't have that spiritual connection, the understanding is just not there. It's, I mean, it'll be there to a point, you know?
Yeah, exactly. There's levels.
Right.
There's That's exactly what I was about to chime in and say. There's levels.
Yes.
You know, because I even see, even on the spectrum of even people that are woke or conscious. I've seen some that are, ranked, to put a ranking like very spiritual, and then maybe a newcomer or someone that is not, hasn't done all that work. That can be very combative as well.
Correct.
Somebody that's working that hasn't, especially if the other person is not willing to see the work that they need to do for themselves without it being pointed out.
Correct. And that's the thing right there, is because now I like how you say steel sharpens steel, right? And so when we have that if you're having a relationship has a very spiritual connection, you're not going to be afraid to sharpen your partner's steel, and vice versa. You're not going to be afraid of your steel being sharpened. It's just, it's just not going to be a problem. But when you don't have that spiritual connection, or you don't, there's only an understanding to a point, the other partner may take it as a criticism, or, here comes that feminine saying, "Are you trying to criticize me? You know, I'm a woman," and blah, 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 whatever the case may be. And so this is where I'm trying to say, like, the spiritual aspect of it, it has to be, it's essential to understand each other on a spiritual sense, because you want to be able to point something out without it being taken as a criticism within your masculine or feminine, so that way it's when you're pointing it out, it's more taken as a point of you're trying to see your partner grow, and they're understanding that you're wanting to see them grow. And if you grow, I grow. If I water you, you're going to be nurtured, you're going to grow. And if you water me, same thing, right? And there we go, we grow together. But if you are trying to sharpen this steel and they're not, receptive of it, they feel like you're cutting them down.
Yep. Yes.
And yeah, and exactly. Exactly. So, when we're talking about divine feminine and divine masculine, that spirituality is very, very important.
You hit the nail on the head with that right there, Lavender. Like that right there, that hit home for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's something that I've gone through in my relationships, because I've always been a very spiritual person. But and like, still in the 3D at some point. Now I'm just like, I'm very, very spiritual. There's not a day that goes by where I'm not thinking of, my spirituality. But it just, I've seen where if I'm trying to help the other person, they take it more as a criticism. So, because they're still very 3D, you know. And I'm not knocking anybody who's like not woke yet. Like, come on now. There's people who are still just waking up. But at the end of the day, that spirituality has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. And then after a while of you even trying to do that or to put a person on, you get tired.
Absolutely.
Or you get the mindset of why even try.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or, and then you're going and repeating through a cycle.
Yes.
Which can be toxic. You know what I mean? So
yeah. It's
but the beautiful thing is we're in a beautiful time, man.
Yes.
Because we haven't been. The thing is, we haven't even really been having these conversations to understand that I think men have understood what women have felt as far as some of the shit one that we've put women through and what society has put through. So I think, and I'm not trying to give us more kudos than what's needed. But I think men have understood that more of what have had to endure. I need my queens and goddesses to step up now. You know what I mean? And step all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all been stepped up.
Yeah.
Y'all had to.
Yeah.
So yeah, so maybe I should say this, and this is ninth dimensional when I say this. Step down.
Mm.
Step down a little bit. You know what I mean? You can. You can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't make us any less powerful, feminine. It doesn't.
The lions are here.
Yes.
The lions are back.
Yes.
We're on the prowl of our territory. We're back. We ain't letting shit come in here.
That's right.
We ready.
You know, and that's the thing. We have to allow for the masculine to show their power, to stand in their divinity, to show us their divinity. We want all this, you know, we want a God. We have to be shown that we have a God, right, within our midst in the masculine. But if we don't allow for them to show it, feminine, how are we going to know? We got to step down. Let them step up. That's the only way it's going to happen.
Yeah. And it's going to take a lot of work. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Even in the male energy, you know, even with some of the men that are tapping in, I don't want that to be taken like you got, like, is this macho,
no.
Or here be roar? No.
No.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. We got a lot to remember. I'm not even going to say relearn. We just have a lot to remember as far as our roles. I do feel like my fellow guys are stepping the fuck up, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I see it.
Even the releasing of the ego and the pride, and you know, I've never, and I've never been like one to shy away from love at all, even with masculine love. You know,
right.
But as far as like, I've never heard or seen so many masculine, wholehearted, ain't a gay bone, ain't nothing questionable, there's nothing that are able to tell other fucking lions and other guys, I love you, I value you.
That's so beautiful for me to see.
You know what I mean? So we back.
That's right.
Let us back. Let us control this territory.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and to you know, go off of what you were saying, I remember as a child, I remember my dad kissing my uncle on the cheek, and I found that weird. Why? Because I was conditioned, right? Like men kissing men, right? Because he truly loved his brother. Okay? And he hugged him and embraced him and kissed him on the cheek. And my dad has always been that, you know, I love you, you know, with the masculine. And now I see it, and more and more with people who are outside of my family, and it's amazing to see. It's amazing to see. I love it.
It is. It's beautiful. You know what I mean? That I can, and I've never shot. Like I said, I've never shot away. But you know, and even with strangers, you know what I mean. I can meet somebody today, have a 5-minute conversation, we vibing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I love you. You have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's no pride, or I just told a man that up. You know, I ain't break tell no man no. Like, this is a beautiful time to be in right now.
It really is. It really is.
You know, and it's not all candies, lollipops, and rainbows, and fucking unicorn sparkling sprinkle dust. You know, it's not that. You know
yeah.
what I mean? But it's time to be in, to go through the growing pains. You know what I mean? Because even with the subject of the conversation, like, all it is a growing pain. You know
absolutely.
What I mean? We are divine. We have, and again, it's no me not trying to separate, but I'm saying this is my. We have endured so fucking much.
Yes.
The shit have come through, the shit that we have been, some of the most inhumane to our babies, that a black woman would literally hide her pregnancy, kill her baby so her child would not have to go through fucking slavery. So we've endured all that. This separation, or this misunderstanding the energy.
Yeah.
We can get this. That's primitive.
Yep.
That's fucking compared to everything that else that we've had to overcome and get through. And still, we are here smiling. Still, we are here having these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Still, we are saying that I am divine. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So,
yes,
you know,
yes. I love it. I love it. And like you said, it's a beautiful time to live in. This age of Aquarius is now, the I know, right?
yep, yep,
Before it was, we were in Capricorn, where Saturn was in Capricorn, and it was about what we had and what we can show and all the money and all this stuff. Now it's no longer the tangible. Now it's what's the wisdom?
yep,
What's the
yep,
wisdom? Now this is now where the awakening happens.
yep.
And I'm just seeing this beautiful time before me, and I'm like seeing so many understanding people now, and just like, the spiritual community is growing and growing and growing, you know, and the awareness is there, and I'm just like, yes, you know,
Yeah,
it is a beautiful time to be in.
it is. It
It
is.
is.
It really is.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toric.
I don't look. I'm not saying like I don't care who's watching, but just this dialogue between me and you, this shit was lit.
Hell
This
yeah.
was lit. I don't know if I was happy in and the people on the podcast, but this was lit. This was needed. I
Yes.
feel like I hope that the people that are listening, that are tuned in, that we have some maybe a little bit, if it's not a shit ton, but maybe a little bit of a better understanding of one another and the energy and where we're at with this energy. And like I genuinely say that I need my sisters to value us,
Yes.
and I need to recognize that you need your universe. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's the universe.
Absolutely. And the same for the feminine. We got to start allowing for our masculine to step into their roles, allowing for them to show their power. Without that, like there is no balance. We do need the balance, okay? And it's just the point where like we are always going to be powerful no matter what. So them showing their divinity doesn't take away from ours.
Not at all.
If I shine, you shine, she shines, he shines, we shine. That's that.
Big brother sign.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So much for having me.
Thank you.
Platform. So look, I'm pretty be. I'm not even gonna say 3D, but I'm pretty talking about shit. So because we had, I know we had the two podcasts scheduled, but since this was a subject that we kind of came up with, does this count as my second one doing it with you, or can I get another one
You
with you?
could get as many as you want. Please. Like that's it's listen, even in the ethers, if there's podcasts in the ethers, we're gonna be doing them up there too.
Right. In the spaceship, like shit. Let's go through this star system real quick. Let's drop some knowledge out.
Facts.
A little bit laughter.
Hell yeah.
You grab me that gallon of water, collide shit, brother Don, crank that music up. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And you can have as many podcasts as you want. Oh, I want to continue on with Poetry Hour. We try to have it at least once a week on the podcast. So
Let's talk this week and put some together. And I mean, I don't know what your schedule's like, but we can do something this week.
absolutely.
I started writing poetry when I started writing poetry in the third. I started reading poetry in the third grade. I started writing my own poetry about 6. So I
Wow.
got poetry for days.
Yes, yes.
Albums.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I'm the same. I've been writing since I was a young little girl, writing songs, writing poetry, writing, books. I have unfinished books. Okay. I've never finished the book, but I got a whole bunch of unfinished ones. Um, but yeah, all writers, calling all singers. If you play an instrument, I'm so ready to have y'all on. And yes.
Before we end this out, and this ain't, I did not have this plan. I have a poetry piece, if you don't mind me sharing.
Not at all.
Perfect. It's called "I Remember You, Queen," and it's kind of perfect with what we were just talking about.
Okay.
And this is the first piece that I performed um, publicly in front of somebody, like me actually sharing. And that was back in 2002.
Wow.
When I shared this piece. So if you don't mind.
Go ahead, brother. The stage is yours.
Let me make sure I can remember it.
Okay.
So the name of this piece is I Remember You, Queen. So I remember you, Queen, and all the things about you. But do you remember me? No, I didn't think so. See, I remember you when you were full of ambition and happiness, and you let your light become darkness. I remember that when you, oh, I forgot it.
Improvise. Let's freestyle.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna rewind that back. I'm gonna bring
Go ahead.
To our podcast. I got a little overzealous, and brothers over 40 now, so that over 40
that's all good. Rewind. And if you got a freestyle, go ahead.
All right, so I remember you, Queen, and everything about you. But do you remember me? No, I don't think so. See, I remember you when you were just a princess, full of ambition and happiness. Now your light has become darkness. See, I remember that you let boys learn your mind, men turn your mind. Shit, some brothers even burned your mind. I remember the way that you used to walk and dress. I remember the way you used to talk to me in my stress. I remember you, Queen. I remember you from 10,000 moons under the light that used to shine so bright. But do you remember me? I was your shining knight in dark armor, your king that you honor. You are my queen I honor. I remember you, Queen. And that's that piece.
Let me tell you, if we had an audience here, yo, I wish I remembered. Let's get it popping because I wrote something a little similar. It's called I Swear I Manifested You. I don't remember it. I have it in a book. But bro, let me tell you something. I'm going to say that one when we pop off. So that you can hear it. It's like this much. Yes.
What's the name? What was the name of?
I Swear I Manifested You.
No.
So it's gonna be poetry hour. So I was going in between two names, either like the poetry cast or like the Lavender Hour. So we'll get the title, but we're gonna have a poetry hour.
We're gonna get together this week. We're gonna put that together, people. So, we're doing our creative things. We're having these dialogues. This is what's needed. These are forms of meditation to me.
Absolutely.
Especially with poetry, people tap in and share your art, and that's therapy and meditation.
Absolutely. That's one thing. The written word has always been a form of therapy for me. So that's why I've always been, a poet, getting all my stuff out there and on paper, because it's a form of therapy and it's a beautiful thing. So please, anybody who has poetry, go to Podbean, call in. We will listen to you, and we'll do this even. So
I love, like, when you do the podcast or anytime you're doing something, your flyers that you be coming out be dope.
Thank you.
Like, I'm on it. I call you back. Next thing I know, like, my IG was like Lavender Cove share something. I was like, she done made the flyer up. People look, and I said, okay. So y'all definitely stay tuned. I will definitely post that information. I appreciate, like, the ones on IG.
Yes.
I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Thank
Yes.
you for having me on the platform on Podbean.
Yes.
Sister Lavender Code. I am
Brother Tariq.
My blue love. I was on camera.
Ooh, baby. Yes.
I am so enamored and in love with the blue love. Like,
oh, I appreciate that. Yo, let me tell you, it has been thank you. First of all, thank you for, speaking about it. But really, okay, I'm glad you liked it. Okay, that was a sample. Okay. Focus. No, float. Okay. Good. uh from the one cup, from the one bag. Good. Okay. Okay, okay, good. Okay, that's good to know. That's good information. Good. Well, I'm so happy that you love the teas, and I'm going to be sending yours out tomorrow, already packaged. So, ready? So, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tariq, first of all, for coming onto the podcast and the IG Live, for having me on your IG Live. And I cannot wait for our next podcast because it's always lit with you. All right. And thank you for your wisdom and for, first of all, your understanding of the feminine energy and for you speaking on behalf of the masculine. Okay. Um, and definitely you always welcome on the Lavender Code. Okay. You will forever be a lavender bud. So I said, brother, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Peace, love, and light, everyone. All right. Yes. Good night. Ooh, you got to X out, brother. I think it's on your live. Is it? Yeah, you got to save it. Okay. Ah, please don't tell me.